Today I'm having another day of feeling blasé, if you will. It's been personally, in my personal life, it's been an interesting couple of weeks, and I've just been, doing a whole lot of this, and a whole lot of this. And one of my favorite ways to combat that is to dress my face with makeup. I wanted to do another one brand tutorial for you guys, do a nice little deep dive on a brand that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm going to be showing you guys a full face of Marc Jacobs today. Marc Jacobs is another one of those brands that I have just used the absolute baloney out of, and I have so many favorites in their line, and there's also a couple of products that I've never tried, a few new products. I went out and bought a lot of stuff. Marc Jacobs is also a brand that is not cheap. It is expensive, and this was a bit of a splurgy haul, but I wanted to show you guys some of my favorite products and just put makeup on my face to make me feel better. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just gonna pin my hair back nice and grossly. Cute. If you like these one brand focus videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below and give this video a thumbs up if you do like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this in your life. So folks, let's zoom in and dive right into the maquillage. Hello. So the first products to grace our faces are some of my old favorite products from Marc Jacobs. These two right here. This is the Invisible Undercover Coconut Primer, and then this one is the Do You Dewdrops Coconut Gel Highlighter. And I remember loving these, but it's been a hot, long time since I have used them, so I was really excited to pick these up again and give them another try, and Lord knows, I need some dew and some highlight on my face. So I'm going to take this coconut primer. That was probably a lot. That was a lot. And I'm going to do one little pump of, yeah, the highlighter. And I'm going to mix that in together. Can we also just comment on the succulent packaging of Marc Jacobs? That is one thing. Marc Jacobs really kills it with the packaging. If you're a packaging lover like myself, their products are so satisfying to look at. They really are. And they're all just so cohesive too. Love it. Just going to put that all over my face and become very, very dewy. Putting that all over as a base, my delightfully zitty skin right now. This is what I get for not treating my body like a temple and eating like crap. So for foundation, this says shake well, so I'm just gonna shake it real quick. The packaging is really cute. I've never used this foundation. It may have been new in my time since I've tried another one. I remember the first foundation they came out with I really didn't like, but this one's supposed to be more up my alley of youthful looking. It's called the Shameless foundation. I have this in the shade Light Y210. Maybe that is shooketh enough. Is it shooketh enough? Oh, it's pouring out. Oh my god, it's pouring out. Why? Why you gotta do me like that? I really like the packaging. I really like the squeezy tube. I think it's very user-friendly, and we shall see what it applies like. I'm gonna use my fingers first, and then I do have my beauty sponge dampened in the event that we wanna remove a little bit of excess. Ugh, it smells like sunscreen. It smells like I'm applying like classic thick white sunscreen. That's the scent I'm getting here. I don't know how I feel about that. Ugh. It's like the childhood sunscreen, you know, when you were like 5 and your mom's just like taking her hands and rubbing it all over you, like that's the sunscreen smell. So it's looking very dewy. I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge and go over that a little bit. It looked really shocking at first, but it kind of instantly settled into my skin. Pretty good shade match too. I'm at my very pale state right now. I can't wait to get in the sun. I'm about to head to Tulum. I can't wait to soak up the rays. It's a pretty light coverage. I'd say this is a strong, light coverage. Definitely feels more like a tinted moisturizer style than anything else. I'm not like wowed by it. I'm not dismayed by it. Only time will tell. So for concealer, this is the Accomplice concealer. Now I have previously used this. I actually purchased this when they launched it, but I did purchase a shade that was too light for me. I purchased Light 20, so I actually decluttered that in my recent declutter video and picked up the shade Light 26. So hopefully, if the Sephora lights are not deceiving me, this one will be a much better match. But I love this concealer. It's such a great multi-use concealer. It's an amazing touch-up stick. It goes over powders. I've used it in many different scenarios. I have actually carried this in my purse before and done touch-ups throughout the day. It goes over everything very seamlessly and lovely. It's a very thick concealer, and I do prefer to apply it with a brush or my finger. The sponge doesn't work so well, so I am just gonna kind of Ooh, yeah, that's a much better match. Thank goodness. This is the Sigma F79. I'm gonna use my fingers just to spread this out underneath my eyes, but I will use a brush around the other bits of my face. Now, this is a much more dry concealer, I find. It's not necessarily my favorite for under the eyes. I would use this like around my face and as a touch-up stick, but for under the eyes, it's a little bit drying for my liking, but I'm actually curious for my oily skinned gals out there what your thoughts are. Does it work better with oily skin? Let me know. I am going to apply quite a bit of this right now, honestly, because I've just got some really big red patches. I don't know if it's fully showing through the camera, but my skin's having a moment. I need to pamper and mask myself tonight, but I'm just going to go pretty generously with this because if I'm honest, like I really wanted to try out this foundation because I know I don't like the other one, but on a day like today, I normally would go with a heavier, more full coverage foundation just to counteract all of my spots. So instead, because we are using a lighter coverage foundation, I am just gonna go in quite a bit with this concealer and blend it around with my brush. The color of this is definitely yellow. I know I put Y210, like yellow base, but this concealer is like yellow. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it'll help tone down some of the red in my face because I'm really sweaty right now. So this is the base applied. It looks matte. I look matte, but I don't actually mind that. It's a little bit yellow tinging, but I know that once we apply the rest of the makeup, you kind of don't notice that so much. So I would say that the light 26, like the light 20 was pretty neutral in its shade undertone. This one's very yellow. So I don't know how I feel about that shade in particular, but I do know that I do love this concealer. I did not pick up a powder from Marc Jacobs because if you guys remember, I don't remember what video it was, but if you remember, I purchased their powder that they brought out that had the brush attached to the lid, which I think is so genius. And I was so excited about it. And I had ordered it online and it came in and it was super dark. I ordered shade 52, which I think they go 50, 51, 52, 53. I don't know who I thought I was getting the shade 52. I think I just completely messed that up, but it ended up being so dark. And then when I went to Sephora to pick these pieces up for this video moment, the testers were not there of the shade, so I did not want to risk it for the biscuit again and get a wrong shade. So because we're feeling matte, I'm kind of like, whatever. I forgoed, is that a word? Whatever. Ooh, I don't know. I passed on the powder this time. So I'm just gonna jump right into highlighter actually, because this is a product that I don't recall if I've ever used, but in my recent knowing memory, I've never tried this. This is the Spotlight Glow Stick in the shade 700. It is a glistening illuminator apparently. And while we were at the masterclass with Sarah Tano, she actually said that this is one of her favorite products from Marc Jacobs. I ran out and purchased it instantly actually, and I have not yet tried it. I've been holding out for the filming of this video, which now that I'm playing with it, I'm like, interesting. It feels very interesting. I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling right now, but it's almost like, I don't know, it's like gritty. Like the pigments are kind of separated feeling in it, if that makes sense, but maybe it'll be stunning on the skin. So I'm just warming that up between my fingers, and I am actually just going to apply that with my fingers. And because it is a glowy stick product, I'm applying that first, and then I'm gonna layer my other powder products on top of it. How did that get down there? What have I just done? I've just turned myself so red. Oh my god, it's pretty subtle. It's like nice and wet looking without being too wet looking, if that makes sense. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like not incredible looking. I'm not wowed by it, but it is nice and subtle, and you know, A++ for packaging. I don't know. Do I look like a glowy dewdrop? What do you guys think? Let me know. Okay, so moving on to my favorite Marc Jacobs product of all time, the 104 Tantastic Omega Bronzer. This is in the white packaging. This was a limited summer product, and then I believe they've made it permanent. I don't know if it was intentional, if it was re-released as a limited product, or if they actually were like always planning to make it permanent, but either way, this bronzer is living strong. They do have a darker version of this, only 2 shades in it, and then they do have their bronzer in the black packaging, but I have no idea what the difference is or what that bronzer is. Again, there was no tester at the Sephora I went to, so I didn't even bother looking at it because I love this one so much. As you guys know, if you follow me, this is also the bronzer that won't die. I've been using this for so long, repeatedly, daily. I bathe myself in bronzer all the time, and I've barely made a dent in this thing. It's crazy. If you're looking for a good bang for your buck and a product that will last, this is one to get. This is one of my favorite bronzers and products of all time. It is so good. It is a beautiful, beautiful matte bronzer, and I do wish that they had a shimmery bronzer. But oh well, you can't always get what you want. It's like reconnecting with an old friend, me and this sweet bronzer. I totally gave up on the project pan for this, by the way, because I was like, there's no friggin' way I'm ever gonna use this up. So I'm just using that to warm up the complexion, going around the perimeters of my face and applying bronzer and giving warmth to my mind and soul and face. I take a tiny little brush and just place that down my nose as well. Okay, now that we're feeling delightfully bronzed, I'm gonna go over top of what we've done here with a powder highlighter because this is part of their new Christmas collection. They gave us a bunch of products from the line at the masterclass that we were at. This is the Showstopper Omega Glaze All Over Foil Illuminizer. It's got like a really strong peachy pink reflect in it. The packaging is beautiful. I love the packaging so much. I was kind of interested to see what the peachy pink lifestyle would be about and figured we could layer and have some fun. Oh yeah, you definitely see the pink right away, the peachy pink, but it's kind of nice actually. It's not like too colorful. I don't look like a disco ball. It's almost like toning down the whiteness in that glow stick bomb. Pretty fun. I'm gonna take some in my eyeballs right now as well. And on the backbone. Yeah, that's really nice, stunning. And this would obviously be a product that you'd most likely never use up either. Okay, so for blush, I had such an excited moment because I know I say this all the time, but I've just been making YouTube videos for so long that I don't actually know if people do remember these things when I say, do you remember when I used this in that video? But one of my favorite all-time blushes of all time is the Marc Jacobs Flesh and Fantasy blush. And my packaging had actually broken and it didn't close, and then it really tragically and sadly shattered. And I used it so much. Flesh and Fantasy, their blush, in terms of the amount of product that you get inside, 8 grams, is double the size and very much larger than a lot of blushes that you can buy at Sephora for the similar price point. So their prices are expensive, but there is a lot of product in here, so I will say that. So I picked up Flesh and Fantasy. I'm so excited to have this back in my world. And then I also picked up the shade Lush and Libido. Whoa, we getting a Scandalust up in here. But it was a very bright, like fuchsia, pinky purple. And you guys know I'm just on this train right now. And I was very excited to pick this shade up and have this lovely, unique color in my world. So I think just for nostalgia's sake, I'm gonna skip this. I'll save this for a later day, and I am going to dip into Flesh and Fantasy. My sweet old beloved. Look at that perfect nude. How stunning. Oh, I miss this blush so much. It's so pretty. It's like the perfect nude. The perfect nude. For my skin tone anyway. I love it so much. One of my all-time favorite blushes. I've already said that. How many times can I say that? Okay, so this is the base done, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. I did not purchase any brow products, if Marc Jacobs even has any, but that's something that is very common for me. I don't dip too deeply in brow products. I've got my fave, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera, and I'll be back with you to go ahead and continue with the eyeballs. Ooh. All right, the brows are on. I'm looking like a fresh and frisky caterpillar, ready to snatch your way. Okay, so moving on to the eyes. Another one of my all-time favorite products from Marc Jacobs, and these palettes in particular have seen a lot of the world with me. I have filmed so many videos in the past with them. They have been used and abused by me. It's their iconic palettes. These are the two that have lasted in my collection, the Glambition and Scandalust. Whenever I travel with these and use these, they always go as a duo because there's a mix of, like, this is more cool tone and this has got the warm tone shades. This brown in particular I love so much, and I find that I always use it with this together. So like a mixture of these two palettes would make my perfect Marc Jacobs iconic palette. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Marc Jacobs, if you ever wanted to make that happen, I'm here for you. Yeah, these are just beautiful. The packaging is so great and so slim for travel and ease, and I just love the shades. The shadows perform so beautifully. Their iconic palettes are just lovely. The highliners as well. Now I always use Brownie. Brownie is one of my most used highliner pencils from Marc Jacobs. This formula is pretty unbeatable. I haven't used a formula quite as delicious and creamy and long-lasting and fully pigmented and just so comfortable to use and work with. I recently did my smoky eye tutorial with the shade Blacker, their black liner, and I have a few fun colors that I've just kept sticking around that I have never used. But the highliners are amazing. They also have the Quins. This one's in the shade Topaz Flash. I believe this came out with their Christmas collection last year with the gold toppers here, but this is just a very fun and unique color that I have also never used, but I have kept a few of these sequins kicking around because the formula is super fun, and you guys know how much I love my shimmery lid toppers. So that's kind of my overview of the eye products that I have from Marc Jacobs, a few of my favorites. I'm not going to do anything crazy and exceptional with my eyes today. I have used all of these palettes individually and many times in the past, so I'm just going to do a quick little look. I'm probably going to dip into Glambition. Let's do a little Glambition action. I'm going to dip into this brown shade right here. Just putting this all in the crease, the same brown shade, and over the lid. Using a smaller brush and that same shade and just running that on the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna take Brownie and just smudge that out on the lash line, really. Just taking a small smudgy brush and just blending that into the lash line. Oh, it's just such a good brown. It's like MAC Teddy, just without the shimmer. So sometimes I like having that fresh and fun shimmer aspect to the liner, but if you just want something nice and plain and matte, this is such a good brown. Such a good brown. It's such a good color. It's just so creamy and easy to blend, and like because of how creamy they are, but not too creamy that they don't go all over the place and like ruining your entire face, they're just so comfortable to apply on the lid. They don't tug on the lid, and that's just a great and unique and rare to find piece in an eyeliner. And their shade range in the highliner pencils is so extensive. You could find pretty much any shade you're looking for. I just love it. So those are the highliners, and I'm actually going to leave the shadow and liner like that. I did just mention that I've never used the Sequins shade Topaz Flash. Topaz Flash. It kind of reminds me actually of just a more intense version of that highlighter. It's got these really beautiful kind of peachy pink and then bits of gold like reflect in here. So I think that'll be really nice over top of this very subtle smoky eye. Just adding a bit of fun to this. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my word. What a gorgeous shade. I love that so much. This is so pretty. What a pretty color. Okay, now for mascara. I have already said my piece on this mascara, but just to round it up and review, the Velvet Noir mascara is a favorite of many people. And I do agree that the finish and the look of it is beautiful. It's so thickly volumizing. It's exactly what I look for in a mascara. I just want intense, thick volume. The only thing with this is that it does flake on me. It flakes really badly and I get really raccoony really quick. It flakes more than other similarly priced mascaras do. So for the look, for the packaging, it's beautiful, but it does flake on me. And that being said, I don't know if I did just get a bad one. That can happen, getting a bad batch, but it's just like when you do spend so much on mascara, you just want it to perform. You don't want to have to risk it. So that's kind of my thought on that. Now, Sarah Tano at the masterclass with Marc Jacobs said that she uses the primer, the Velvet Primer, and that it doesn't flake, and that's perfect. And my whole opinion is you shouldn't have to use a lash primer when you're spending so much money on a mascara. It should just perform itself. That's what I think. I also never use lash primers. It's just not what I do, but for science and for testing purposes, I did just want to see how this applied, so I picked it up. Whoa, I wasn't expecting it to be like a peachy, creamy color. Cool. Do you guys use a lash primer? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm very curious to know your thoughts. Am I supposed to sit and let it dry at all? I don't know. Okay, that's long enough. Let's go on with mascara. I almost feel like the primer has made it worse. It's like kind of glooping up a little bit. Honestly, it looks fine. I don't think the primer did anything in terms of thickness. It's just not my favorite formula. Whatever. If you love it, do your thing, little mama. I have other mascaras in a similar price range that I do prefer. But this, it looks totally fine. I'm obsessed with this eyeshadow. I'm obsessed with this Sequins shade. I think it just looks great. Ugh. Moving on to lips. This is a product that I do not believe I've ever used. This is the Nudeist Pout Liner. I love the packaging of this. What a beautiful thing, and I'm really excited. If it's anything like the highliners in terms of creaminess, I am thrilled to use this liner. What a joy to apply. You know what? The KKW Beauty liner feels exactly like this in a sense of creaminess. Like that's the joy I feel when I apply that liner and why I love it so much. It's just so easy and quick to apply. It doesn't tug on your skin. It's just like, and it's done. Just like that. That's exactly how I apply liner. Wow, what a lovely color too. Okay, love that. Then for lipstick, Marc Jacobs has so many lip products, a lot of glosses, and I'm not the biggest gloss wearer. There's a lot of glosses that I'm using and loving right now, but I just didn't feel the need to add any more glosses to the collection. So instead I added lip balmy lipsticks because apparently I needed more of those. Yeah, I was really intrigued by this packaging. These are the new Nudes, and I'm not even gonna try and say this. I got 146 and 106. Moody, Margot, and Anais. Anyway, 2 of these, and I swatched them on my fingers, and they're very similar to that lip balmy texture that I use and love so much. I really wanted to dip into Moody Margot, I think, this fun nude, and apply this over top. Honestly, it's lighter than I thought it would be. It's a magnet. I didn't even know that. Look at that. That is so satisfying. What was this one? Was it nice? A little bit darker? Let's just layer them both up. What the heck? Oh yeah, this is more peachy. I'm gonna rub that into the liner a little bit. What a lovely nude lip. All right, my friends, this is the finished makeup look. This is the full face using Marc Jacobs Beauty. I think that this is one of my favorite makeup looks that I have ever put on my face. Do you ever just have that feeling where you do a makeup look and you're like, this is it? This is it. If I would have a go-to makeup, this is what it would look like. It's like equally simple, but also like smoky and kind of sultry at the same time. I don't know how to express this. I'm obsessed with it. The tones, everything performs so beautifully, save for my, little opinions on the mascara, but I just love so many products from Marc Jacobs. I don't know. This is like a love letter to Marc Jacobs right now. Marc Jacobs, if you ever see me and watch this, I love you. Yeah, I really hope you guys are enjoying this makeup as much as I am right now. And if you have any favorites from Marc Jacobs, let me know in the comments down below. Do you hate any products? Let us know all your feelings and thoughts in the comments down below. I'm so excited to have played with some old favorites and to have discovered some new favorites to create this makeup look here for you today. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!